Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Maydaysan Talks show podcast, which I want to kind of start every Monday. I want to try and do this every Monday here in Japan. Obviously, have some stuff scheduled ahead of time, but I want to be able to start making content on the daily. So first thing in the morning, it is pretty cold. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I hope you all can relax, for those of you listening to this from America or North America, because, you know, Canada is part of North America too, and so is Mexico. And I hope you are also getting a great start to your day or winding down, depending on when you're listening to this, for those of you in Asia and Japan. So yeah, we got some gameplay of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I actually haven't recorded gameplay in a long time, actually. So maybe I'm gonna have to start doing that again, because we got the podcast starting up again. Next week, I think I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm probably going to be posting a podcast I recorded with my friend Kantan Japan. That we talked about. I have a bunch of backlog content that we talked about, but they're pretty long. They're like 30 minutes. So I'm not sure how I want to execute that. If I want to put up the whole 30 minutes or not, let me know in the chat down below. If this was a stream, it's not. Let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to actually be able to watch 30 minutes of something, or would you rather have them in 10-minute bite-sized pieces? Which is what I wanted to kind of talk about today, about my content moving forward, because I know on the podcast you guys don't really know what's going on and everything. So over the past weekend, I received a piece of feedback from a disappointed fan talking about how my content is basically garbage now, and how my content is getting worse and worse, and all I do is copy and steal ideas. And that I don't make my own original content, and I don't serve the core fan base anymore. And that I should quit the industry because I'm clearly not fit for it. Now, obviously I disagree with most of what he said, and the way he kind of delivered it was not in the nicest way. But we have to kind of understand that these kind of comments come from people, from actual human people with lives, people with their own concerns, people with their own pieces of stress and everything, and that you can't just simply write them off like you would some sort of machine error. And it's kind of something I've been working on for a while now, and only recently been trying to actively take part of it. And it's something I kind of want to give advice, as a piece of advice to all content creators in the current YouTube and social media space. And it's that, you know, you get a lot of advice talking about, oh, just ignore the haters, or just only focus on the positive comments. But I think, honestly, and for someone who like me, who kind of gets their ego inflated easily, I think that it's good. It's actually good for you and your mental health to a degree to really try and understand where these hate comments or whatever negative comments come from, because it's not all BS, right? There is always some piece of truth hidden inside the poop that these people, you know, say in their comments. And you have to kind of understand that you are not perfect, and you are not the greatest, and you are not the best content creator out there, and you can do everything, right? That's simply not true. I know we're all not good at everything, or, you know, there would be no point of specialists in any kind of career, or people with talent, right? So I think it was a good kind of wake-up call for me to kind of be like, you know, recently, you know, the channel has kind of blown up. I know we've gone from I was looking at a picture like literally a week ago where I was celebrating 100 subscribers, and now we're only about 30 subscribers away from 3,000 in such a short amount of time. And, you know, I tend to look at that objectively and be like, well, you know, that's not really that big. But then, you know, I get comments from content creators who are successful now, who are telling me that, you know, they didn't get those numbers until maybe double the time that I've been doing this channel, and I am grateful for that. But, you know, that's something I have to battle with myself. I have to tell myself that. I have to tell myself actively to be humble and actively to not let it get to my head and not to be cocky and not to be arrogant, right? To actively not bring it up in conversation, to actively not brag in front of my friends of like, hey, look at me, I did it. But instead use that kind of information and kind of use that, my successes in, relative success to kind of help other people and help other content creators, because if you know me personally and if I'm friends with you as a content creator or something like that, or I give you advice, and anybody who knows me personally, when I give people advice, I give them the realest advice I can, and I tell them straight up that if your content is garbage or your content's not engaging or it's really generic, I will tell you straight up there, and I will try to help you. And this is kind of what I want to say for any content creator who is seriously trying to make it. And you're probably wondering, well, Mason, you don't even have your fan base or anything. Like, who are you to say? I can say whatever I want, man. It doesn't matter what scale I am. Okay. Well, what if I just bring down the scale to people with 100 subscribers? How can I help you today? And that is to take these negative comments and find what you can in the truth and really just use it to improve your content. Use it to, give yourself that push to try and get less of these, or use it as a push to kind of be like, hey, you're not the greatest and you're not perfect, and you should objectively kind of reevaluate your content, your strategy, and what you're doing in the future for your content and for you as a brand, right? For example, the guy was kind of saying that, like, I don't make content for the core audience, which was ALTs. And I still make content sometimes for ALTs, but at the same time, I can't, because it's like anything, right? You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. You start to lose the passion for it. You start to get bored. It starts to not be fun. And you're basically listening to the same song over and over. I was saying this on Twitter, like, if you think about making videos, okay, for your channel as like making music, and your entire channel is your album, right? So like my Maydaysan podcast is like my alternative album, and then my Maydaysan channel is the pop album, right? So like, let's say I made the ALT videos at the same format where it's me holding the selfie stick and just talking to nobody with having the comments and stuff like that. I could have done that over and over and over and over and over, but frankly, I got bored. I seriously just got bored of doing that, because I always like to kind of push myself and try to create in my imagination. I try to let my imagination flow so I can make those ideas come out, and it was kind of just limiting me. And I remember feeling that when I made a Kaiwa in Japan, because it was, by the numbers, a demanded video, and it would have done well statistically, and, I kind of stuck to the format, and it took me the longest to make that piece of content because it was just so uninspired for me. So I've been experimenting with new types of content and stuff, which is fun for me, and I think kind of pushes my boundaries, right? And I encourage anyone else who's listening to this to push your own boundaries, to try and top yourself. And I think that's the hardest part, to be able to top yourself. The hardest part about making content is not to just make great content and manage that content and be good at interacting with your community. It's being able to top yourself, to be better than yourself yesterday, to be better than your video last week. And I felt that pressure when I made, the first video, teaching English in Japan. And then I felt the pressure again when I made Visa. And then when I felt the pressure again when I made Nihongo Jozu, right? Like, but, those came after the fact that I thought that I couldn't be better, right? So I feel like these kind of negative comments are great ways for you to just realize that you can be better, and you have to be better. You have to be better, and you have to keep on improving your content, because A, you're gonna get bored of your own content, and B, so will your audience. Imagine listening to the same song over and over and over, and listening to your favorite band, and all they do is release the same album and the same type of music over and over. A great example of that is Paramore. When I was doing a medley, mixing medley for Minority 905, my clients and my previous band and my friends, to be frank, I was listening to the recordings of the Paramore medley, and it was literally this like for like the first like 5 albums, it was like the exact same sound every single time, and I kind of got bored mixing it. And it was such a breath of fresh air for them when they started doing the Paramore Untitled album. It was such a breath of fresh air, and it sounded so good. And even though the initial response to that album was kind of mixed, and it grew on me, and I really appreciated that they took themselves to be creative and kind of push themselves. So I think that's something we all have to strive for as content creators, and that you can't forget where you came from either. So that's kind of pushed me now. It's like, okay, well, now I realize that there are probably some unvoiced minorities in the community that probably don't enjoy my new content, but the numbers speak for themselves. But I can't forget my own roots, and it's kind of humbling, where it's just like, yeah, maybe I should start making an ALT video again sometime. And just to kind of finish off and touch on something he said about me copying and stealing other ideas. Number one, no idea is ever original, so I'll just leave it at that. And number two, literally my last 2 videos were probably not the greatest pieces of content I wanted to put out, because, to be honest, I didn't have time. I just didn't have time, and I wasn't managing my time well. And part of it is my fault, because I was addicted to Call of Duty when it first came out, and I wasn't making content on a scheduled basis. Like, I wasn't had a schedule like I am right now, and I was making it on a week-to-week basis. So I had no time to actually make anything, and I was at training, like literally in Hiroshima for 3 days for 2 weeks. So like my week was split up. I couldn't work on anything. I couldn't film anything. So like it was just really hard for me. So I just had to kind of release what I had in my back pocket, kind of uninspired ideas. Actually, the Dogen video was an inspired idea from a long time ago, and it was kind of this cheeky idea that I just kind of thought of a long time ago in my back pocket. I was like, oh my God, I remember that video. I want to just make it. And I made it, and it was fun, and it was a great, little shout out to Dogen, who, kind of shouted out my channel and helped me out. So I appreciate that from him. So I kind of wanted to just kind of pay homage to him. And I did have a series, or I did want to start doing like kind of like Dogen style impression parody videos. The second one was the Yabaton video. Like, I literally made that video on the spot when I was in Shibuya with Kantan, Japan, and we were filming for his video for Nintendo Store. And honestly, I know people don't care about the story. People just don't care about the story behind any video. They only care about the results. I'm sorry, that's the sad truth. But it took me a lot of courage, and I think that video was a huge step up for me, and a huge step forward for me as a content creator, because that was the first video I filmed outside and filmed in public without being embarrassed. And I'm kind of proud of myself for making that video, albeit the content was kind of poo, whatever. I was just trolling. I was just messing around when I made that video. And, the time came, and I had another video idea, and I was supposed to make another video idea, but I was like, you know what? I don't have time. I'm just going to put this out for now. People enjoyed Yabutan last time. Whatever. It's just a parody. It's whatever. I knew it wasn't going to do well. But honestly, on Facebook, it's not doing well at all. And on YouTube, it's doing okay. And on Twitter, it's actually doing really well. And it's probably because of the way I marketed it, but honestly, yeah, I can understand where that guy came from when he said that, yeah, I was just copying and stealing ideas. That's literally what a parody is, and you're just like kind of roasting. And yeah, that I can see where that came from. But I'm excited for this week's piece of content coming out this Friday, which, by the way, is probably going to be one of the most ambitious. No, it's not ambitious at all. It's a fun little project you guys are going to enjoy. And for sure, I think you guys are going to say I've stopped copying ideas or whatever. But anyway, I wonder what you guys think about my content. For those of you who want to give me feedback, please be as real as possible. I respect those who do, and it keeps me in check, and it'll keep you in check as a content creator moving forward as well. So, new video out on Friday. It is out on Wednesday for Patreon peoples, and it is out on Thursday for the Discord fam. And you can see both of those links in the description down below if you want to get early access to my videos. But they only last up until 24 hours before the video comes out, so like Thursday night here. So you only have a limited time, because I want to be able to have it scheduled and have it come out on time. until I figure that out. But anyway, this video has kind of gone on too long. I just want to say thank you everybody for your support. And yeah, if you're a content creator or you're creating anything, you have a passion, be passionate about it, and make sure that you take all pieces of feedback with a grain of salt, but use that grain of salt. Use that grain of salt to improve your content objectively and use it to push you. And I know it's hard, and it's hard to swallow your pride, and it's hard for me to swallow my pride every day. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it hurt when I read that comment. It hurt because I'm human, right? It hurt, but I couldn't let that bring me down. I had to find something positive from it, or something real from it. And there's reason behind things. Remember, these guys are humans, guys. They're not animals or what? Like machines. They're not robots. People have feelings and people have lives. So make sure you're doing that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.